So what is going on, guys? Today we've got our discussion review for Rocket League. We've already done one with Batman Arkham Knight, and now we're doing Rocket League review. So pretty much this game came out on July 7th, and it was free with PS Plus, and that's probably what made it such a big game. It's well known amongst the gaming community now. It's a big game on Twitch, YouTube. There's loads of videos of it now. So yeah, we're going to pretty much discuss what we think about the game, and overall give a score of it. So pretty much, Quan, do you want to start off with your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, sure. I think it's been one of the games that I've had the most fun out so far this year. Like, I've probably had the most fun on Rocket League compared to any of the other big releases I consider contenders for Game of the Year. I wouldn't go as far to say Rocket League is a contender for Game of the Year, even though it is the one I had the most fun on, purely because I think it's a little bit too simple, a little bit too bare-boned for that. But that's not to take anything away from the game itself. It's really fun to play, despite it being very simple, because it has that very I guess fragile balance that a lot of games don't always get right. I think it's really the second game on PS4 that I've ever felt as if I could just come back and play anytime for like half an hour and still enjoy myself. Like, there's not many games that can do that, where you can literally just go back and play it and still have just as much fun as you did before. The other game I'd say that did that for PS4 was Trials Fusion. I do have a game like that on PC. Nazi Zombie Trilogy comes to mind. Like, that's a really fun game to play, just whenever you feel like it. But it does definitely fall into that category of like, whenever you want to play it, you just can. There's nothing holding you back. And I think despite it being repetitive in nature, whenever you're playing it, you don't ever feel as if it is repetitive. I think a massive part of it is the social aspect of it. It's much more fun when you're playing with other people too. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. If anything, it's better, because the PS4 really needs more games like this, where where more people play it, especially with PS Plus. I think it was a really good idea having it on PS Plus, despite it actually causing the game to function a little bit incorrectly. It has a lot of bugs, of course. Well, it had a lot of bugs on release, but now it's a little bit better. That's probably because of the the amount of popularity the game got, and the developers not expecting that sort of stuff. But overall, I'd say I've really enjoyed the game. Definitely one of the games I've had the most fun on this year, and I give the developers all the respect I can give them, because it's a really good game, and they're not the biggest studio in the world, so they managed to pull off something very good here.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the kind of thing to take away from the game, is that it's so much fun, and the fact it was free on PS Plus made it just that more kind of, it was so good value. Like, I mean, you pay £40 a year for PS Plus, $50 or whatever it is in the US, and you pay a lot of money for this PS Plus service. And lots of people have complained about the games which people have got with PS Plus over the past 2 years when PS4 has been out, specifically because obviously they kind of, the more people who got PS Plus, the less value in games they gave out and that kind of thing. Obviously, because there's too many people getting PS Plus and they don't want to be giving everything for free. But Rocket League has been one of those great games which PS Plus has given. Other ones like Resogun has been good. I think Don't Starve was good as well. Transistor came out this year as well. And so, I mean, there's so many good things that PS
Transistor
has
Game
brought.
of the Year.
Yeah, of course, Quan is a massive fan of that game. Yeah, I definitely with Rocket League, like, it's a fantastic game. The gameplay is very, very good. There is obviously a slight problem. I mean, it was more back at the beginning, the first week or so, when it had the kind of network problems, which caused it to be basically unplayable online. But other than that, it runs at 60 frames per second, which I didn't actually know until a couple of days ago.
Well, it's not the most steady frame rate ever. Have you seen
not the most
frame
stable
rate
60.
tests on Digital Foundry? It's like it wavers between 40 and 50 for the most part. Like, it's very, I wouldn't say very rarely on 60, but like, I mean, like, it's sometimes on 60, sometimes on like 40, 50, and sometimes it drops. I mean, I only really notice like the major drop whenever you go for a demolition, like whenever you explode up, because then the frame rate drops majorly. So it's not like the most technically brilliant game like ever, but I don't think that's like the main focus on it.
No, I mean, you don't want to take away like the graphics idea of it. That's just kind of pointless, really. I mean, the game is all about the gameplay, having fun with friends, as Go said earlier, and I think that's the kind of main ethos of the game, like just having fun. And it's not meant to be like a game of the year. I mean, it's very, very good game, and it can be getting game of the year in some cases, but it's not meant to be a game of the year because it's got no story. It's just all about the gameplay, all about having fun, and that's essentially what Rocket League is in essence, really.
What do you think, Colin?
Right, the idea that this game was on PS Plus instead of having to pay for it made it such like a bigger game, because I think that I myself personally would have still gone out and paid 20-25 quid for this game after playing the beta, because it was just such a fun game to play. As they Oliver and Oscar have said, the social aspect of it is great because it's amazing to play with friends. Like, we've played it all together and we found it really fun and enjoyable, with several dirty quotes thrown in here and there. But the fact that it was free just made it such a bigger game and made it more enjoyable and more noticeable to the community, because as I've said, it's a small company who've made this game, so I think they did really well to get it out when they have, even though there were a few problems. But I still rate it as a great game because you can just go back and play it whenever you want and still have fun with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as I said before, it's like oftentimes for games it's really hard to find that balance, because I think with loads of games you finish it and then you feel as if you don't want to play it anymore. And I think for me personally, in particular with multiplayer games, I'm not a big fan of multiplayer games because I just can't deal with the repetitive grind of them. And I know a lot of people prefer multiplayer games to single player campaigns, and I completely understand that. But me personally, I just can't go back to them and not find them repetitive. I think what Rocket League does really well, and what, as I said before, different. Trials Fusion and Nazi Zombie Trilogy do really well, you can just go back to them and not feel bored, which is really hard to do. Yeah, what Callum said.
For God's sake. I hate my life. I'm going to stab myself repeatedly. Can we just end this now?
Yeah, so, I mean, we're going to have to like slightly cut off Callum because I can't understand what he's saying, and his review has turned completely more comedy-based than actual discussing the game. But, yeah, I mean, we've pretty much discussed everything about the game. Obviously, it's not like the biggest game. It's got lots of replay value, but it's not got many features in it. And that's one of the things I'd like to see, is like an update in
yeah,
like,
they have
like, new kind of
they
ideas.
have the free DLC, don't they, coming out of the new stadium? So that's
yeah,
pretty
they've
cool.
got a new stadium.
Yeah,
I thought that was
cool
good
to see they're supporting the
including
game,
some free stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
if they get, I mean, the thing that I really enjoy about The Witcher 3 is the amount of free content that has. I mean, that's still coming out with it now. You know, they're calling them updates, but they're really like just free bits of DLC. So I would be happy to see Rocket League do some more of that, just to keep players interested, because I think it will get to the point where people get a little bit bored of it because there's not anything else to it apart from trying to get the ball in the net with a car. Like, that's literally it. So I hope they do bring out some more free bits of DLC and more updates to add a little bit more depth in the game, maybe some more customization, although that aspect of the game is really, really good. I guess just some, maybe a few more game modes here and there, but yeah, I'd like to see that happen. And hopefully if they support it throughout the year, then of course that'll mean the game's going to continue to be popular and something I will definitely play throughout the year, just go back to once in a while, and enjoy myself even more.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much like that's the end of the thing really. Overall score?
I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. I think I can't give it like an extremely high score. Like, I wouldn't give it higher than a 9, although I give it like an 8.5 because I think it's too simple for that higher score. But at the same time, just the amount of fun you have on it, I think it warrants an 8.5 for me. So yeah, there's that. That would be my score.
Yeah, I'd go for an 8.5 as well. I mean, again, it's definitely not like any. Again, there's not enough content. It's too simple, as you were saying there, Ghost. And so yeah, an 8.5 is what I'd give it as well. But yeah, Callum, I mean, hopefully we can understand what your score was. But
it's just going to be a constant stream of lag. That's my review.
With the simplicity of it and the amazing replay value of it, I'd say yes, pretty similar to you guys, 8.5, because it's just a great game you can go back to. Just have a load of fun with it, and if you're playing it with friends, it's even better. So yeah, 8.5.
Yeah, definitely. That's again our review for Rocket League. Let us know what you thought of the game in the comments. Have you actually played it? And yeah, we'd like to thank you a lot for watching. Hope to see you again.
Penis.
Dutch
next
banter.
time.
Yeah, Callum, like 10 seconds later. Internet explodes.